Well, welcome back to Crescent Studios Pod. Look, man, I know it's been a minute. I'm not even gonna make excuses for myself, to be honest, because I ain't really been prioritizing this like I should be. Kind of got my priorities all out of whack. But July is a crazy month for me. I got my birthday. I got my girl's birthday coming up. Um, it's just we're dealing with the house and stuff. But again, I'm not. There's really no excuses, bro. Like, I just haven't been doing it. That's me being honest. I haven't been consistent with it, but I've been consistent in other things. I'll tell you that much. Just want to share that with y'all. I've been working out a little bit more. I've been trying to find a part-time job because I go to school full-time. I applied to a lot of places, actually. It's kind of hard right now, especially in the field I'm trying to go into with the writer's strike and, the actors joining them. Which, by the way, I actually went to a strike a few weeks ago with my boy Josh, and that was a lot of fun, to be honest. It was nice to see all those people rally up and be on that. I'm thinking about hitting another one, to be honest. I'll probably hit up Josh soon and see what he's on. See if he wants to do something like that. I'm sure he would. He's an actor, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Josh is an actor. He'll be on the show soon. Talk to him about his acting career and his path and stuff. I'm excited to bring guests to you guys. I think guests is something you guys would look forward to doing. Again, that's what this is supposed to be. Supposed to have some guests on and talk about their experience through art and creation and everything of those sorts. But right now, you just got to deal with me. Deal with it or don't. I don't really care. I do care, but not super care. Anyways, welcome back. Happy you guys are tuned in. I'm so grateful to whoever's out there listening, whoever's out there watching. Much love to you. I can feel your love through the internet. It means a lot. Yeah, man. So let's just hop into it. Talk about we'll start light. We're going to start real light. I want to share with you guys my top 5 albums of all time. I think that would kind of maybe get you guys to know me a little bit better. And hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. So should I order them? I'm not going to order them. I'm just going to talk about them. The first one I have on my list of my top 5 albums of all time is Blonde by Frank Ocean. What more can you say, man? Blonde by Frank Ocean, right? Top to bottom, no skips at all. That album came around, 2016, I believe. And it's funny because I remember when it first dropped, I was actually sharing my Apple Music account with a friend of mine in high school. And when it first dropped, we would go back and forth because you could only one person could listen to your Apple Music at one time. And so she would be on it, and then I would click on it and it would kick her off, and then she would click on it and kick me off. It was just funny. That's my first memory of that album, to be honest. But that album, man, has gotten me through so many things. I've cried to that album. I've laughed to that album. I've gotten lit to that album, man. Outstanding front to back. Amazing follow-up album to Channel Orange, which was obviously a great, I was going to say a debut album, but Nostalgia Ultra was his debut. Is that an album or a mixtape? Let me know. I want to say it's a mixtape. His debut project, whatever. I'm going to say Channel Orange's debut album. Blonde is a fantastic follow-up. Arguably better. It's hard to say. I don't know. Oh, man, now that I'm thinking about it. Nah, man, I got to stay with Blonde. Channel Orange is probably a top 15 for me, though, if I would really have to put in numbers, for sure. Anyways, next one. We got none other than Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. Another one where I'm kind of don't even know what to say. I grew up on this album. The first song I ever heard from Kendrick was it? I think it was Swimming Pools. It was when I was living at my cousin's house down in Palmdale, East Palmdale. And dude, they would play that shit all the time. And then I think man, I want to say it was either Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, or it was Mad City, or was it Backseat Freestyle? Between those three, my cousin was for show playing Swimming Pools all the fucking time. And then I got onto, I want to say it was Backseat Freestyle. And I want to say this was around 2012, 2013. Maybe 2014. Because I feel like I was listening to it. I don't have anything to look up when this album came out, but I think it was 2014 it came out. But I remember singles dropping because I remember hearing Swimming Pools before I went into high school. I was in I think I was like 8th grade around that time. But I remember the summer going into freshman year, and then from freshman year on, it was just Good Kid, Mad City was just on replay pretty much every fucking day, man. Like I said, I heard Swimming Pools first, and then it was Backseat Freestyle, I think. And then I was hearing Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. And then I think it was Mad City I was hearing. And it just, man, what more can we say? The story of him going through his life in Compton, because we know that Kenny is, back then he was this kid coming up in Compton trying to make his way out, trying to put his people on, but really trying to stick to himself. But when you have all that noise around you, it's really hard to focus. And so he's telling his story through the noise and, him and his homies and what they're going through. So songs like The Art of Peer Pressure, songs like Sing About Me Dying of Thirst, like you really get to hear his story through, really every one of those songs, but you see what he was going through and his influence, the influences that was surrounding him, whether it was his people, drugs, women, everything, man, like all that type of stuff. So it's really amazing to hear that. And then there's a story in there when he's getting jumped because he met up with Shireen. Out fucking standing album, man. I have no more words. I literally listen to that album still to this day. Like it comes up at least one time. I could probably maybe not clear every song, but I'm gonna stop talking about it because I want to move on. But just know that I'm sure y'all can see my love for it. Good Kid, Mad City, top 5, easy. Coming in at number 3, we have a more recent album, which I did discuss on my last podcast. If you didn't, go check it out. The album is called LP by JPEG Mafia. I first heard JPEG Mafia when I was in the Army in I want to say around 2019-ish. I heard him from the homie Bailey. Shout out to Bailey if you're watching this. The homie just got his visa to move to South Africa, so shout out to him. I'm really happy for him. Can't wait to see what he does, and I hope to visit him soon once he finally moves out there. So shout out to Bailey. He put me on the JPEG Mafia with the album All My Heroes Are Cornballs. And I just been following JPEG since, and he dropped LP, which I believe is his best album by far that he's put out. There might be a couple skips on there. Excuse me. But what you get from JPEG, if you don't know, you get a bunch of samples, a bunch of different futuristic type sounds, a bunch of like mixed in sounds put together that you wouldn't really expect, that kind of hit you like really hard. And then he put there's some smooth stuff in there where he's kind of just rapping about, love, the rap game, what it really is, him being on his shit all the time. It's amazing. I love it. It's hard hitting. It's soft at times, mainly hard hitting. And it just really gets you like going. At least for me, it gets me going, like talking shit. Like I really love it. I really love that album. Not because I love to talk shit. I do sometimes, but nah, just it's a great album. I think you guys should check that one out. If you're into like a more alternative style rap, um, yeah, I think that'd be something you guys would like. Coming in number 4, Lonerism by Tame Impala. Yeah, man, Tame Impala is my fucking guy. I saw Tame, he was my very first concert, back in November of 21 at the Hollywood Bowl. We were in the way back. I wish we were up front, but the way back, I got to see the whole production of everything and just the whole crowd and the lights and everything. I wouldn't change it for anything, but it was so fucking amazing. It's the hands down the best concert I've ever been to. I've been to a few, maybe like 6 or 7. Best concert I've literally ever been to in my life. He sounds amazing live. For those of you who don't know Tame Impala, he's come out with songs like, a popular song is The Less I Know The Better. That song, you probably know that. And Borderline is another I would say popular one. I'm not gonna sing that one for y'all. Lonerism is his second album, right after Inner Speaker. Currents is his third album. Currents used to be in my top 5, but going back and listening to him, I've really learned to love Lonerism for a lot of different reasons. Number one being it's so raw. It's just guitar riffs, drums just going nuts, vocals just on 10. Like, he's really just in the studio like, I'm here to make a statement type. And then Currents drops and it's like the statement's been made, but now he's settled himself as like a serious, like, take me serious. That's how Currents was for me. And you can kind of see, someone said you can kind of see the Lonerism sound, especially when like the B-sides came out to Lonerism, kind of recently actually. You can kind of hear the Current sound forming into what is like what people know Tame Impala as today. The Tame Impala that I love every aspect of him, but the Lonerism is just this raw, hard-hitting, killer sound. Even Inner Speaker is kind of like that. Like, it almost sounds like the mixing is not great, but it works so well. First of all, he plays every single instrument you hear on an album. That's one person, Kevin Parker. Kevin Parker is Tame Impala. Tame Impala is Kevin Parker. It's just one person. When he performs, he obviously needs other people there. He can't play fucking 4 instruments at the same time. So that's another crazy fact if you don't know. And I know people on the internet be like, oh, Tame Impala fans be like, oh, it's just one guy. Woo woo. Yeah, man, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's talent. That boy be doing it, and it be sounding great. A very psychedelic-y, rock, alternative, dance music for me. I dance to it. But yeah, Lonerism, it discusses like being alone. Are these choices I'm making good? Letting go. Is this what's best for me? I know what's best for me. It's one of the lines of the songs too. So, but Lonerism, man, it is outstanding. I love everything it stands for. It's gotten me through the hardest of times. Songs like Mind Mischief, songs like Apocalypse Dreams, songs like Alter Ego, man, just really put a lot of things in my life into perspective and helped me get through a lot, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Inner Speaker did too. I mean, they all did, but Lonerism, you know, I'm playing devil's advocate here, obviously. So Lonerism for number 4. No order, by the way. Tame Impala. Go check it out. Number 5 in my top 5. This might come as a surprise. Might not. But it is a Radiohead album called In Rainbows. I first heard Radiohead. I think everyone probably did too. You probably heard the song Creep. Which is funny because Tom York, actually the lead singer for Radiohead, actually hates that song. He wrote that when he was 15. Anyways, so they came out with In Rainbows. I want to say it's their most recent. No, I can't say that. I don't know. I think I'm lying to y'all when I say it's their most recent album. But it came out in like I want to say 2015, 2017 time frame. Maybe a little bit after. I have the record, but it's not going to tell me when. In Rainbows is I don't really know how to describe In Rainbows. It's some softness to it that's still rock, and it just fucking works. It just fucking works, man. You got some hard ones in there, like I think it's Body Snatcher. That one's a hardcore one. One of my favorite songs on there is Jigsaw's Falling Into Place. Reckoner. Those are some of the soft. Some of them start off soft. Like Reckoner's soft all the way through. Jigsaw's Falling Into Place is kind of like soft mid, and then it just like kicks up with like some like guitars, and the guitar picks up and the drums start going nuts. It's amazing. 15 Steps is more of like a electronic. That was a really really bad impersonation of it, but if you listen to it, you probably know what I mean. So that one's more of an electronic feel, but the whole album all the way through, to me, there's no skips. There's a little bit of depression in there he talks about. It's a little bit of like just Tom York and Radiohead is a very interesting group because they think very differently. But if you listen, like it's like, okay, like I kind of understand it. And it's not, I don't know. It's a weird album. I can't really explain why it's in my top 5, but it's in my top 5, and it's my top 5. So In Rainbows, Radiohead. If you're into like rock and stuff, I suggest you should check it out. I also did want to do some honorable mentions that I have, which is, the first one is Thank Your Lucky Stars by Beach House. Beach House is one of my favorite artists or band of all time. It's just 2 of them. So one of my favorite artists of all time, I'll say. Thank You Lucky Stars walks you through, to me, it's a love album. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I'm not going to get too into these ones. Nothing Was the Same by Drake. I used to listen to that song around the same time Good Kid, Mad City came out. I was banging both of those back and forth. Nothing Was the Same. It's a great fucking album. Baduism, which I actually heard recently, and I just got on record. Yeah, man, that's a top 10 for sure. The production, the vocals, the way it's mixed, the flow, everything on that album is out fucking standing. Top 10 for sure. Erykah Badu, Baduism, 10 out of 10 recommend. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in Mac Miller's Faces. And I know it's not an album. I know it's a mixtape. But I will say it's definitely one of my favorite projects of all time. Easily favorite project. It would make top 5 projects of all time. Maybe I'll do a different segment one day where it's top 5 projects. And we'll see. I haven't listened to a lot of mixtapes though. But yeah, had to throw that in there. Faces by Mac Miller. Kind of know what I want to talk about, but I'm kind of just trying to mentally shift myself into like a different mode, you know? So we just finished talking about music that helped me and saved me and is in my top 5 and a couple honorable mentions. I kind of want to get into a little bit something I think like is worth talking about. But I'm also like nervous to talk about it because it affects me, and that is depression. I don't know. I don't like to say it affects me because I don't like to give it power. But it's something that, you know, I be struggling with. I'm not going to say a lot. Recently, it's been like, I've been cooling. I've been like in a lot better days than I used to have. I used to have really, really shitty fucking days. I'll go in like, it'll come in spurts. It'll be like, Sometimes it'll be months where I'm just, you know, I mean, man, I'm regretting like talking to, like, I almost regret saying it, but I also want to be super open with you guys because like there's no fear and judgment here. There's days and days long and months long where I feel like I don't want to exist on earth no more. I have thought about killing myself. I have had plans to kill myself. I have had the means to do it. Yeah. Man, it's hard to talk about. It almost seems like, man. There's been rough days, and that's about as real as I can get. I've been there, and I think I don't like to talk about it because, like, especially right now, because I am in like a happier mood, and looking at it from a different perspective that I'm in right now is like harder to talk about versus when I'm actually in it. It's easier for me to talk about and explain what's going on. But I think it's healthy for me to talk about it in this state because I kind of can look at it almost as a silly thing, which is good in some ways. Yeah, man, just depression is a hard thing. For those of you out there that seriously struggle with depression, my energy and prayers go towards you every day. It is a hard thing to go through and a hard thing to deal with. Days where things seem fucking impossible. Days where seems like this day's never gonna end and you can't fucking escape anything. I've been there. And I'm genuinely sorry if that's something you're going through right now or go through on a just a basis. You can obviously see that I'm nervous and have anxiety to talk about it because I'm fucking with this thing. Yeah, man, my love goes out to all those people who seriously struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts and think that they're not good enough for this world. My heart goes out to all the people who have self-harmed and have lived to show their story through their scars. My heart goes out to all those who have attempted suicide and survived and found light. And my heart goes out to all those lost in suicide. It's a serious fucking thing, depression. It really is. I just hope you can find something to get you out of it. Every day, I'd have to force myself to like just focus on something else. Like be grateful for what I have. You know, I'm grateful that I have this apartment. I'm grateful who I'm with and the people around me. I'm grateful that I'm even able to sit here right now in this moment and talk to you people through this microphone, through the camera, and have you people hopefully take something from this and go on about your day. And listen, man, it gets fucking easier. Like it will eventually come a time when shit, you can look back and be like, man, that was a rough time, but I'm good right now. Right now in this moment, I'm really good. And that's another thing I've been working on is trying to live right here. Like right now. What is happening right now? I'm talking on this podcast to the listeners. I am sitting here, I guess, rambling about living in this moment. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about what else I could be doing. I am thinking about this. This is here, this physical is here, and it's here. You know what I mean? That's something I'm really working on. And kind of, I mean, it's hard. I'm going to say struggling. I'm definitely going to say struggling because I've been struggling for a while. Only recently have I been able to like really hone in on like this moment right here. And go on about my day. Because if you're not living this moment, dude, if you're not living in your body, every day is hell. Interactions with people is miserable. And you just have to be here in this moment, man. You really do. That's some advice that hopefully resonates with y'all. For those that may struggle with depression, or those that may have some advice, go ahead and drop some helpful tips and talks in the comment. Go ahead and give some love, man. This is a love channel, a love company, and just know it's always love here, man, forever and always. Love is something that you have to learn to accept. Love is something that you have to kind of learn. At least for me, I've had to learn love. I had to learn to accept love. I had to learn how to love. I had to learn what my love means. I'm still learning, man. Like, life is cool because you can learn so many different things, and you can do so much different types of work, like whether it's mental work, emotional work, physical work, psychological work. That'd be like subconscious stuff. You can literally shape how you want your energy being to be. We're all just like energies living in our little meat suits. It's a little meat suit that we walk around in. One thing I think I've struggled with is like feeling like I'm not myself, and I act out of, like, from people that I've learned from. Like, if I say something, I'll think, well, maybe I think I heard this from the homie, and like this is kind of how he would say it. But in reality, when you grow up, like, yeah, other people shape you, and like you find other things funny, and like you find things interesting, and you're gonna say it, and you're probably gonna have a memory of that. But that's one thing I've struggled with. Like, I guess it's kind of comparing in a way. Comparing's a motherfucker, man, because me and the homie Josiah be talking about this comparing mindset. If you're comparing yourself to everything and everyone, it's going to be miserable for you, dude. Like, and that's something I'm still learning. I kind of have like this defensive mindset a little bit, and like this comparing mindset, and I find myself trying to fight it, but I know if I fight it, it's like making it worse in a sense. And so sometimes gotta let it, not even let it go. Letting it go, yeah, but like just let it. You feel me? Like just let it. And yeah. Living in the moment. Life is beautiful. I wanted to talk a little bit about anger issues, but man, we can talk a little bit about it. I think every man struggles with anger issues. I think a lot of women deal with anger issues, but I think like the majority of men deal with anger issues. I think it's almost a coping mechanism in a sense for young men. Where, like, if you grew up a certain way, or maybe I'll talk about myself. Like, I grew up an only child, so I kind of have a little bit of only child syndrome. I'll get annoyed and frustrated at like little things really quick. And I'll like try and catch myself to like not do it. I've gotten really good at like not sitting there for so long and like just like letting it and just whatever. I can control what bothers me. I can control what doesn't. Anger issues is crazy for young men specifically because we're more prone to fighting. We're more prone to lashing out on others. Men deal with a lot. I'm not saying women don't deal with a lot. I know the degree of what women deal with. I was raised by a single mother. Trust me, I know. But right now, I'm just focused on the young men right now because I'm a young man. I think there's so much that goes on in the man's mind of growing up in a society where we feel like we have to be this or that. And, you know, we feel like we have to have certain things in order. We feel like we have to have the mental straight. We feel like we have to be strong. We feel like we always have to look over our shoulders. We feel like we have to take care of those around us. We feel like we have to be the leader. We feel so much. A lot of men feel so much, but suppress it and don't know what those feelings are. I'm kind of a feeler, man. Like I be in my feelings and just like understanding them and where they come from. Because I think that's important. A lot of men don't know how to do that and probably weren't even taught that. And there's no fault of their own. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just here trying to get through it, and we're doing our fucking best out here. So, you know, if you're a young man struggling with anger issues, here's what I'll say. If something angers you, if a situation happens and you feel annoyed, irritated, frustrated, anger, mad, whatever negative feeling you feel, write it down. Write it down and then just let it sit, and then just reread it and be like, what was I mad about? What was I really upset about? And then just go from there. Then you'll be able to learn to take yourself out of that emotional state and just look at it from over here in this perspective in real time. And you'll be like, oh, that doesn't even really bother me. Like, yeah, whatever. You feel me? And I think it'll help you out a lot. That's my advice. Thank you guys so much for coming and listening to me talk again for Crescent Studios Pod. I really, really appreciate everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching. My love to you guys. I really hope you guys are doing great. It's a beautiful summer. It's hot. It's hot as hell. I actually just took a walk after a shower and my hair was wet. I came back, my hair was completely dry. I was gone for like 20 minutes. It's so hot outside. Just want to throw that in there. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming to tune in, coming to listen to me talk. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you feel a little bit better. Hopefully you learned something. My love to you, and I can feel your guys' love. Until next time, this is your boy Nico, Crescent Studios Podcast. Be on the lookout for more coming. Love you guys. Peace.